Hey crafters, let's make some beautiful swirl candles that are perfect for gifting. Hello, I am Katie from thecraftyblogStalker.com and I am so excited to be teaching this tutorial today. If you're new to my videos, make sure and hit that subscribe button. Here are the supplies I'm using, and you can find a complete supply list with shoppable links either in the description of this video, in the blog post, or through this QR code. I am making 2 candles, but the process is going to be exactly the same for both of them. To start, I need to figure out how much wax I'm going to need for each candle. So what I'm going to do is fill this glass container up to about where I want that wax to go, and then measure the water and multiply that by 0.86. My glass container is filled about 1/2 inch from the top, and I've got this little measuring thing here, so I'll pour that in. That is really close to the 400 line, and these are milliliters, so I'm just going to say 400 for ease. I'm going to come to my calculator and I'll go 400 times 0.86. And it says 344. That means I'm going to fill this up to about the 344 milliliter line of this wax. I'll dump out the water, and I want to dry the inside really well. I've got my wax here, and I'm going to fill this up to about 350. Actually, since I'm making 2 candles, I'm going to fill this to the 700 line. I'm just going to melt the wax for both of them at the same time. Now I'm going to microwave this in 30-second increments until it is completely melted. While my wax is melting in the microwave, I'm going to go ahead and insert my wicks. My wicks come with these little stickers. Peel off the backing. Stick the wick down in the bottom center of the glass container and just press that down. I'm at about 2 minutes, and you can see that those wax pearls, pebbles, whatever you want to call them, are starting to melt. You do want to stir between every 30-second interval. I'll pop this back in the microwave. Now I'm at 3 minutes, and I'm close to completely melted, but not all the way yet. Before I melt it the rest of the way, I'm going to add my essential oils, and I'm going to add a little bit more of those wax pearls to get it back up to 700. For the essential oils, you want about 35 drops of essential oils per 100 milliliters. That means for this 700 milliliters of candle wax, we're going to need about 245 drops of essential oils. I'm using a combination of oils to create a yummy scent. I will start with my pine essential oil, and I'm going to add 40 drops. Next is my patchouli, and I'll add 40 drops of patchouli. Then I will add 80 drops of clary sage, and then 80 drops of citrus burst. Give that a good stir, and that smells so good. A little bit more wax, and put this back in the microwave. Let's go ahead and see what that temperature is. I can tell it is not going to be warm enough. So I'm going to go ahead and pop it back in the microwave. I'll go ahead and test that temperature. We are only at about 140. So I'm going to pop it in for another 30 seconds. Test that temperature again. We should be good, even if it isn't all the way to 160. We did get to 160, so we are good. Our wax is kind of a yellowishy tint because some of the essential oils we used had a darker tint to them. It's okay, still work just fine. I'll take one of my glass candle holders. I've got a little plate that I'm going to use as a palette, and we'll start with our blue colorant. I've got one of these little plastic squeegee tools, and I'm just going to use that to pick up some of the wax and put it at the bottom of my candle holder. I want just enough to cover the base. Then I'm going to take a toothpick, and I'm going to drop some of this color onto my toothpick. And then I'll carefully dip that toothpick into my candle base. You need a lot of ink on there, and you're just going to swirl it around. You don't want to completely stir it and combine it. You just kind of want to create little lines in there. I'm going to take this and rotate the glass, go all the way around it. I want a little bit more, so I'm just going to do it again. You could even do this with different colors. Rotate that glass candle holder. There is our blue. Now we're going to do the same thing with this one, but we're going to do a different color. I'm going to wash my hands so I don't get blue inside this other color of candle. This time I am using this bright pink, almost neon pink colorant. So I've got my glass candle holder. We're going to do the same thing. Fill up the bottom of this. You could also use a spoon or even pour it in if you don't have one of these little squeegee things. I know that I need a little bit more for the bottom since I had to do it in 2 with the blue. And it smells so good. I can smell it and it smells amazing. This time I'm just going to drop the colorant right in there. It'll save me a little bit of time than putting it in with the toothpick. I can just drop it in there, but I'll still use the toothpick to swirl it. I got a little bit there on the side, but that's okay. I've got my pink in there. I'm going to do the same thing and turn it and then roll. And there is my pink one. Oh, that looks so cool. That is just awesome. Before I pour the rest of the wax in, I am going to take the temperature again, because now if you pour it in when it's too hot, it will melt this pretty design that we've already put on the outside of it. So we want to let our wax cool down to about 120. Right now it's at 140. I'm gonna stir it and let it cool a little bit. And it doesn't look like that wax is too yellow there once it is cool. On this pink candle, the wax went really high up right there. So I'm just gonna wipe that because that will be above where the wax is when I fill the candle. Just have a dry paper towel. That looks better. I have these little wick holders, so I'll go ahead and put those on. These will hold my wicks in place when I pour in the rest of the wax. If you don't have these little candle wick placement holder things, whatever they're called, you can just use some popsicle sticks to hold it in the center. Let's test it again. It's definitely cooling down. We are just a smidgen above 120. Now I can pour it in, pouring it more towards the center. I don't want it to drip down the edge. Those look perfect. I just need to let these set up completely, which can take up to an hour or more. I'm just going to leave them as they are so they can set up. While my candles are setting up, I thought I'd go ahead and share my recipe for my essential oil blend that I use to make my candles. The scent is a really nice calming woodsy scent with a little bit of citrus in it. It smells so good and really relaxing. My recipe is 1 part patchouli, 1 part pine, 2 part clay sage, and 2 part citrus burst. I think I used about 75 drops of patchouli, 75 drops of pine, and then 150 drops of both the clary sage and the citrus burst. Of course, you can use any scent combination for your candles. This is just what I used. Just remember, you want about 35 drops of essential oil per 100 milliliters of the melted wax. It has been an hour since I poured the wax, and you can see it's still pretty liquid in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and let these sit for probably at least another hour, maybe a little bit longer. It has been about 3 hours and our candles are completely set, and I absolutely love how they look. Aren't those so pretty? Here are the tops to our candles. And you'll notice that this one is already lit. That is because I already recorded this portion of the video, but I didn't actually hit record. So I am doing that over for you now. That is why that is lit. I will go ahead and light it again so you can see this beautiful candle in action. Oh, it smells so good. I'm so excited to take a nice bubble bath, have a nice handmade candle burning next to me. It's going to be a great night. So what would you do with these candles? Would you gift it or would you keep it? Thank you so much for joining me today. You can find more free tutorials on my website, thecraftyblogStalker.com. You can also find me on YouTube and at home on your smart TV at Made It Myself TV. Thanks everybody. Bye and happy crafting.